Everyone, welcome back. So now the weather is nice and cool and there might be a chance of snow in our forecast on Monday, but that should be the last snow event. So is the weather clearing up in your areas where I know we're getting a lot of daffodils and other flowers blooming and the trees are blooming, so it's looking really pretty and very spring out there, and just a sprinkling of cold weather here and there, but I can handle it because it won't be much longer and the cold will be done. So here we are. We are starting Voyage 12, and this is week 1 of Voyage 12. And the items that I'm planning on conquering on this voyage is the Discover 1 for $8,220, and that's a balance transfer that is due on June 13th. And then I have the furnace bill came up to $780, and then the vet bill for $200. And this Voyage 12 is also going to last 12 weeks. I just noticed that I'm in Voyage 12 and this will take 12 weeks, so it's a 12 and 12 thing. Since June 13th is 12 weeks away, we have an extra 2 weeks to get our debts paid down. So that's another reason why I decided to go ahead and put the vet and the furnace on there. And plus, it's just kind of nice to get credit for paying items that are due and seeing how that adds up to the total debt paid off. So we have one octopus joining us on our journey, and we'll go into, so this is for March 28th through April 3rd. And then what I did was a transfer from line of credit 1, where last week a paycheck came in and I just went ahead and put the entire paycheck in line of credit 1. So then I transferred out the $1,000 for this week's. So on March 28th from the line of credit 1, I took $1,000, and then that gave the checking $1,126.69. And then a payment to loan line of credit 2 was made for $125. Checking was then down to $1,001.69. And then a payment towards line of credit 3 was done for $125, making that $876.69. And then the loan 1 payment, that's actually due on April 1st, but I just went ahead and made the payment on that on March 28th for $191.28. And then checking went down to $685.41. And then the next 2 items are in reference to the mortgage coming up. So what I did was, in order not to have to do like another balance transfer out of the Discovers, what I did was I just went ahead and did, they called a loan advance on the line of credits. So I went ahead and took $350 off both line of credit 2 and line of credit 3. And then after the line of credit 2 advance was added to the checking account, it was now $1,035.41. And then after the line of credit 3 loan advance was added in for $350, the balance was then $1,385.41. So then what I did was I went ahead and made a deposit of $1,300 into my Visa, which also took care of this little revolving credit payment. So then after I took out the $1,300 from checking, put it into Visa, it was now $85.41. And then from that, I did, of that $1,300, $1,275 went into the Visa. That was at $6,463.52. We did that payment of $1,275. $80.34 went to the interest, bringing that balance down to $8,268.86. So now available in that Visa is $1,731.14. And after the first of the month, what I'm going to do is make the mortgage payment for $762. And then I did put the balance transfer payment of the $685 into the Visa to keep that balance low since it's going to cycle out on March 31st, and that way I'll have a lower balance and a lower payment. So that $685 for Discover One will get applied probably on April 2nd or maybe even the 1st. And then for the revolving credit, it needed a payment of $25. It was at $405.33. After the payment of $25, $587 went to interest, and then the balance is now $386.20. So available in that revolving credit is $113.80. And then just an update on the unexpected expenses. The furnace repairs, I had thought it was going to be around $720. The actual amount is $780. And so I'm planning on doing it within that 12-week time frame. And so that would be about $65 a week. But I could change this as this goes on. I'll see how it works out. And I might just keep it where I just do the chunks of 65 to the furnace, the chunk of 17 to the vet, which did go on in the Citibank, and then the chunk of the 685 to the Discover One. And then this is a 12-week voyage, and it started on March 28th, and we're expecting to get done on June 13th. And then after we take out the chunk for the Discover One, that leaves us $1,260 to work with for the month for expenses. So that should be doable, along with the lines of credit where we might have to borrow a tiny bit out of that, but I'm hoping we won't have to, and that this should be enough to get all the bills paid as the voyage goes along. So then for this week, we did a payment to line of credit 1 for the $120. And then line of credit 2 got a payment for $125. Line of credit 3, a payment for $125. And then we made that loan 1 payment for $191.28. And then the Visa got a payment of $140, which was the money we stashed in it for the mortgage and for the Discover One payment we're going to be making in a couple days. And then the revolving credit got that payment of $25. So, and then we just need to make the mortgage payment as soon as our Visa cycles out. We can make the mortgage payment on the 1st, and then we can do the $685 to Discover One. And that actually has $331 that's due on that. So that'll be going towards that $331, and then the rest will be going towards that balance transfer to get that paid off in the 12-week frame we're looking at. And then we'll go ahead and chunk 65 to the furnace, and then 17 to the vet. And the vet is on the Citibank, and then the furnace is on a small bank loan at 0% for 90 days. So we'll just go ahead and chunk at that weekly as well. While we're working on that Discover One, we'll be doing the furnace and the vet at the same time, and we'll see how that all works out. So then we go into the captain's log, and then after week 1, we'll have $685 paid towards Discover One, 17 towards the vet, and 65 towards the furnace, which would then have total paid off would be $47,036.87. And that's on our captain's log. And I'll make a better copy of this. What I'll do is, since our Discover 2 is done, I can just combine that into one line and add that up, and then probably I'll add these 3 together and each week and do a combined total with that. So then when we look at each of them individually, the Discover One start off with $8,220. After we do the payment of $685, it'll be down to $7,535. The furnace started at $780. After a $65 payment, will be down to $715. The vet bill at $200. After a $17 payment, will be down to $183. So the actual combined total of the voyage is $9,200. And then we're looking at, let's see, we have the payments of $685 plus 65 plus 17 gives us $767 to pay down each week. So then we'll just go ahead and so that shows that. And then I think what I'll do is just update my main sheet with the $9,200 total. I'll probably just go ahead and put the Furnace, Discover One, and Vet, and just do a $9,200 total. That way we know what the total voyage anticipated is. So please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please like and subscribe to follow my journey. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.